Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Stay healthy all year long and protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community by getting vaccinated against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, and free, and approved for everyone over the age of 5. Wear a mask outdoors, in crowds, and indoor settings, and lay low or get tested before visiting family and friends or attending events. To get more tips, schedule your vaccine, or get tested, visit ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine. That's ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 63, Wednesday sunny with a high near 85, and Thursday sunny with a high around 93. Cafe Latte is a hot spot for American eats and house-made desserts in a cafeteria-style setup plus a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte believes ingredients matter, so that's why they never use artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. Dine in at the restaurant off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul or place a takeout order at cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot, and we discuss local and national Native news and events. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Native Roots Trading Post, located at 700 Nicollet Mall in downtown Minneapolis. We're in the first floor of the Dayton's building, and we're open until June 30th. And guess what, Robert?
What?
We're going to be in the Minnesota State Fair this year.
The what?
The Minnesota State Fair this year.
That's crazy. That's 12 days of 2 million people walking by and buying Native American stuff from us.
I love it. I'm so excited.
Wow, that's cool. We're going to have to get busy and buy a camper to live out there and wow.
Work. For 12 days.
Well, you pick me out some good orthopedic shoes and a rubber mat, and I'll be there.
All right.
Hey, I want to say happy solstice to everybody. It's the shortest night of the year, and there's a lot of things going on here.
It's the shortest or the longest?
It's the longest.
I think it's the longest.
It's the longest.
The longest night? No, it's the longest day.
Oh, longest day and the shortest night. All
Yeah,
right,
I
gotcha.
said-
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes
Got
sense.
it. Got
Pay
it,
attention to
got
the
it.
show, you guys. Come
talking
on now.
backwards.
That's right. Hey, it's summer solstice blessing. It's the summer solstice, the shortest of night. We're on our planet is blessed with the greatest of light. The sun at its power, sharing its wealth, with earth glowing in abundance and health. The trees' leaves are green and the brown. The birds are in a song. The days are as warm as they are as long. I'm not going to read anymore, but you get the idea. It's summer solstice time, and congratulations on the State Fair Native Roots Trading Post, Wendy. And before we get any further, we should get to Ogama with the news, because I know she's got a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's always great to have her on, Wendy. So with the news, it's Ogama.
Hi, Nancy Beaulieu, everybody. I'm Miiskogihmiiwan, and I'm from the Red Lake Nation in northern Minnesota. I am Anishinaabe, and I have news for you here on Native Roots Radio. As always, I want to start with a few events that are happening for our relatives who are in the Twin Cities or over in Wisconsin. This weekend, Saturday, June 25th, is the Communities United by Water event, also being called the Shakewamagan Bay Celebration. It is at Bayview City Park in Ashland, Wisconsin. Water protectors will meet to organize, inform, sing, dance, eat food. There are vendors. There's going to be music and lacrosse, a potluck, and a feast. You guys, this is going to be a really happening event. There are events starting Friday the 24th for camping. There's lodging at the state and national parks in the area, and things kick off right away 9 a.m. Saturday, June 25th. The speakers include, I believe, Don Goodwin, music from the Nibe Singers, and keynote speaker is Mike Wiggins, chairman of the Bad River the Bad River Tribe in northern Wisconsin, and then there'll be John Green Deer as well. And there's just going to be so very much stuff happening, and I'm so excited for this event. If you are interested in going to this event, make sure you go over to wisconsinline5.com/Communities United by Water, or you can just go directly to communitiesunitedbywater.org for more information, and they will have that event information there for you. Going to be an awesome event this weekend. Also coming up this weekend on Saturday, June 25th at 2 p.m. If you aren't able to travel, you can jump on Zoom and hang out with the grandmothers of the Sacred Way. And that is going to feature great grandmother Mary Lyons, which we know and love here on Native Roots Radio, as well as grandmother Ella Paul, grandmother Pershly Amy, great grandmother Moato Tayo, which is from the Maori tribe in New Zealand, and great mother Debbie Tide, who's Sufi from Washington. So great grandmothers from two Maori, one Ojibwe, one Hopi Tewa, and one from Sufi. So that is super exciting. If you would like to join that, check out Grandmothers of the Sacred We on Facebook for the event. And you can find the email list to join and get the Zoom link. So that's going to be a really awesome event. There's only 100 spaces available, but there is no cost. So keep that in mind. Also, Sunday, on June 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. is the Water Protector Sharing Circle or Open Mic Night, which is happening by the Water. It's an event put on by the Water Protector Support Network. It is an online event, so make sure to check out Water Protector Sharing Circle Open Mic Night. And there will be another one scheduled. It sounds like they're going to try to do these once a month. And they're going to feature a screening of the original documentary, Every Step of Prayer by Augustine Ganley. So that looks really exciting. And there's an open mic night for music, poetry, spoken word, film, or any other creative endeavors that you might have. Quick update on line 5 from Scott Russell of healingmnstories.wordpress.com. He is pointing out that the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency at a national level, is now urging the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to consult Native nations on the Line 5 decisions to honor reserved treaty rights. So in the fall of 2021, there were 17 federal agencies who agreed to coordinate and collaborate for the protection of tribal treaty rights and reserved rights. And it didn't get signed in time. for the decision on the Enbridge Line 3 tar sands pipeline in Minnesota, but it looks like now it's going to possibly make a difference in the federal review of the proposed rebuild of Line 5 in Wisconsin. So that is very, very hopeful. And they have referenced, the EPA, has referenced that commitment to honor treaty rights as of a March 16th letter to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So March 16th of this year. And that is very promising. Really hope that comes through. And then a little bit of news here from Honor the Earth as well. Mark your calendars, people. Sunday, September 4th, 2022 at 12 p.m. at Bayview or Bayfront Festival Park in Duluth, there is going to be another Water is Life festival. And the headliner this year is Ani DeFranco. Tickets for this event go on sale. Pre-sale starts the 24th and full sale, I believe, opens up on the 25th. You want to go to firstavenue.me for more information and for tickets, or go to Honor the Earth or check out the event Water is Life Music Plus and Resistance Festival on Facebook for that. Robert, one of the last things I want to touch base on too is the new scary movie that's coming out. I'm not a big fan of horror films as a genre.
There's Wendy. Wendy isn't either.
Yes, but apparently there's going to be a prequel movie to the movie Predator, which is part of a film franchise. And they're traveling back in time 300 years into the past to the Plains territory. And they're going to basically have an alien terrorizing the Comanche Nation. The Comanche Nation is going to be fighting them off in this film. It's called Prey. And Indian Country Today covered this. And Robert and I think initially we both seen some pictures of it and we thought, oh, this isn't real. This isn't real. And then I stumbled across it today, and it's full of Native American and First Nations talent as part of the cast. And it looks like Sonny Landham, who's Seminole and Cherokee, is playing the tracker character named Billy, or who played the tracker character named Billy in the 1987 Predator alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. Obviously, he couldn't stop the alien, right? But
well, I'm wondering too how you say in Comanche what Jesse the Bod said. He said, "I don't have time to bleed." So, how do you say that in Comanche?
That I would not know, and it sounds like. And I'm not seeing this here in the article off the top of my head, but somebody had posted that this was going to be released in Comanche. So will be released in the full Comanche language, which is a big deal as well.
I did see a little a video of it, and it did have subtitles, so they were speaking Comanche, which is right on.
So exciting!
Definitely. I ain't got time to bleed, Jack.
When is it coming out?
I don't have a date for it.
Okay.
It looks like in August, but I don't have a date. So August of this year.
Right when the fair comes out, when we're at the fair, Wendy. Hey, we'll be right back after this short break with Nancy Beaulieu.
Stay with us.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Why must the world be so cold? They've gone against what was told. Thinking rape is cool? Think about it. They think it's not wrong. Violence against women, the rape, the abuse, the emotional, physical, they all hold the hate. Think about it. Is it right or wrong? What attracts you? I'm not saying no names, but you laugh. Talk about it like nothing is wrong. Think about it. They all hold the hate. Gotta stop the violence. Stop the hate. Think about it.
sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Hey, it's awesome. We got, before we get to Nancy Beaulieu, Bemidji 350 and MN 350, which means Minnesota 350, is we just found out that Prey is going to be exclusively on Hulu on original on August 5th. And so we're excited because Wendy and I have Hulu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, so
we'll check it out.
Right on. So, hey, before we get any further here, let's get Nancy Beaulieu, Bemidji 350 on. Welcome, Nancy.
Bonjour, and I say that with a big smile, Robert. It's always so good to be here and hold space with you guys and all the listeners out there. And tonight I'm fortunate enough to meet with one of our, well, he doesn't like to call himself an elder, but he is, Michael Lane. He's from the Menominee tribe, and he is one of our elder leaders in the Treaty Alliance gathering. So, yeah, we're meeting tonight to reground ourselves and move ourselves forward. We had to find a fiscal sponsor agreement, and we are lucky enough to have Tom Goldtooth of Indigenous Environmental Network to step it up and be our signator, and Keela Reed Sanders from Power Shift Network. So we're excited to move this work together. And Michael Lane is in town from overseas, and so tonight was the night we had to meet with him, and I'm still happy to be here though.
Wow, that's awesome. Can you tell our people that might be jumping on the show for the first time, especially our relatives in Wisconsin, exactly what you're talking about when it comes to our treaties and our treaty rights here in Minnesota, especially?
Right. At Minnesota 350, we have been working hard for, I think, almost 5 years on building treaty awareness, and it all started with the Line 3 fight. And we knew this was more than a pipeline, that this was about treaty and our right to self-determination. And, you know, never once, Robert, did we ever cede our sovereignty. And so we're here in a good way to build awareness across every American here in Turtle Island, everywhere, you know, Robert, because if they're, you know, we know, actually not if, but their ancestors signed those treaties with our ancestors. And if their house or their business is still occupying these lands, they're still benefiting from those treaties that are very much alive today as the day they were signed. So out of our work at 350 and the Line 3 fight, we knew we needed to do more. And so we started a treaty pledge. And then out of the treaty pledge, we got the treaty people gathering in Waubun, Minnesota, June 5th through the 7th. Well, on the White Earth Reservation, and then June 8th through the 15th, we held space on the Line 3 easement, defending our treaties and being treaty keepers and showing the rest of the world what it looks like to stand in solidarity as the treaties intended us to do.
You know, one thing I was thinking when you were talking too, because Wendy and I went out to Standing Rock 3 times for a period of time, bringing out supplies, and that it's real rugged. I mean, when you say you held ground there up in the Mississippi in the beginning, it isn't like you had a hotel and a casino and you were hanging out, smoking cigarettes, and then going out and protesting. You know what I mean? Guys were like front line, and that experience is like, it's camping with a purpose almost.
Exactly. And it's such a strong sense of community. We were exactly in the middle of nowhere. We called it, the Bermuda triangle, but since we were close to Poseida, we called it the Poseida Triangle because we didn't even have reception. It was hard to do a live feed, and there was no convenience store up the road. It was just a lot of beautiful relatives and allies holding space treaty style to protect the water, and we did that for 8 days on an easement, and those are kind of similar to those railroad ties. Not very comfortable to sleep on. And when we held the easement for the first night, we had little tiny mattresses between us and the railroad ties, and the Thunderbirds came in kind of sideways, and it was a beautiful disastrous night, and we would do it again, Robert.
Well, you know my idea of roughing it, Wendy, right? Is we don't have like a mint on our pillow or something at the hotel. That's roughing it if they don't have a mint on there. But so we really appreciate you and so many people up there that stood tall for us.
Right. And the work is never done. There's always a front line. We have other threats to our water here. And we're lucky enough to travel out to Ashland this weekend and stand in solidarity with the water protectors on the line 5, which is just, the end of line 3. But it's going to be a good place to go. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And we got a lot of things going on up north here. And what was really relaxing, Robert, is we had an opportunity to say enough of the shop talk and let's go up to the Red Robes Resistance Camp. And Sasha Beaulieu out of the Red Lake Treaty Camp, they have moved the camp into a horse healing kind of camp. And so we were needing some downtime and a little therapy. And as awesome as that sounds, we had to feel it and live it. And so we went, Robert. We went last week, and I want to give a shout out to Sasha, Roy, Hoka, McGizzy, and all those beautiful souls out there that are doing their best to create a space for healing, for food sovereignty, for community, and some land back. So we were out there hearing about all the dreams of this camp. And you know what, Robert? They could really use our support. And so I'm going to ask, all of our listeners out there to visit the Red Robes Resistance Camp on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a link there that you can donate to. And I'm telling you, if you're going to give money to a good cause, this is one of the best causes you can give to, because these guys are serious about the work they do, the spaces they're creating, and it's always with good intention. So I would highly ask our listeners to support this camp.
That's cool. We'll get that up there soon. And also, so is that Sasha's camp, did you say? With the horses, or is that what you just said?
Yeah, it's
So
a Red Rope
horses
Resistance
are
Camp.
horses are so healing. I know when we were at Standing Rock, we saw a lot of horses out there, Wendy, and they're so healing. And a lot of our nations and relatives out there are horse nations.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And Robert, those horses come from Standing Rock. They were at Standing Rock, and that's what makes them really, really beautiful. And they had a baby horse. What is it called? A foal?
Foal, yeah.
A foal, Wendy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would recommend, they're open to people visiting, and I'm going to say give a goodwill donation if you visit, because they're willing to bring in groups of people to hang out at the horse ranch and offer rides. And I know she's going to be working on a seating area to help seat people while they're waiting for their turn and just have good conversation, and part of the camp is really spiritual, and they share this Ojibwe poem on their website, and it says, "Godfather, look at our brokenness. We know that in all creation, only the human family has strayed away from the sacred way. We know that we all are the ones who are divided, and we are the ones who must come back together to walk in a sacred way. Godfather, sacred one, teach us love, compassion, and honor, that we heal the earth and heal each other." And that's what they're grounded on, Robert.
Wow, that's perfect and a great way to end this segment, Nancy. I know you're hard working up there and you're getting ready for Rock the Vote Native Style on Tuesdays coming up in July. So we're getting excited. We're revving up here. And I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, Wendy mentioned that we are now in the Minnesota State Fair with our stores. So that means that you have to spend hours and hours making that soap to bring down.
Right, and I'll be excited to make the soap. I need a dose of making soap to decompress. And Robert, just want a quick shout out to the awesome fish fry that we had at the DFL here in Beltrami County last night, and we met some awesome candidates. Some of our relatives are running, and we're looking forward to putting together a block party to have fun and get to know our candidates. So when we get a date on that, I'll be happy to share that, and I hope you and Wendy can come up and say hi to our awesome community up here and be a part of all the good stuff that we do.
Yeah, good call. And again, thanks so much, Nancy. Keep us on top of that information. Really appreciate it. And all you do. And it's great to have you on every Tuesday here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's an honor. Big witch.
Oh, wow, Wendy. We just love having Nancy
Nancy's
on.
great. She does so much work. She is literally boots on the ground.
Yeah, definitely. And I would need like a 4-star hotel, and get out there. Well, when we went to Standing Rock, what did we do?
We had a camper.
We had an RV. We came, but we did have a lot of supplies, bringing all that wood, all the clothes, all the things that were needed. It was a good time and a memorable time. And again, that's how we started this show.
Exactly. And they need help. The water protectors do, and they need help to take care of the horses.
Right. Great camp up there. It sounds like that Sasha's having. And so we'll have to get information out there and really boost it out on our page.
I want to see the foal.
Oh, horses help so many people. They need our protection and prayers. That's what Alice said. And we always like to hear from Alice. So, hey, we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Hello, Minneapolis. It's Randy Rhodes on your radio in the heart of the Midwest every weeknight from 10 to midnight on AM 950.
Matt McNeil here. I've said it before. I will always drive a Toyota Sienna. In my mind, it's the best vehicle available. Whether I'm driving across town or across the country, there's no vehicle that makes long drives easier. The Toyota Sienna is the most comfortable car I've ever driven. Roomy, space for the whole family, even though the kids have gotten bigger. And I can even fit all of our luggage, bikes, and fishing gear in the back. Easy. I stand by Toyotas. They're great vehicles, and the only place I'll buy one is Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
If you're like most people, you probably noticed your energy bills are going up and going up fast. Unfortunately, that's not likely to change anytime soon. So if high utility bills have you seeing red, see green instead by locking in an energy rate with All Energy Solar. Switching to All Energy Solar gives you peace of mind knowing your energy costs won't be rising along with fossil fuel costs. Solar panels last 25 to 30 years, giving you a good idea of where your energy is coming from for decades to come. Plus, a system from All Energy Solar could save you even more with net metering. With net metering, extra energy generated by your solar panels is sent back into the energy grid in exchange for credit on your electric bill. Those credits pay for your energy use on days when solar production is low or your electricity use is high. So declare your independence from the fossil fuel industry by switching to All Energy Solar. Get a free, no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by calling 800-620-3370 or visiting allenergysolar.com.
As the weather warms up, now is the perfect time to prepare for summer reading, and Next Chapter Booksellers can help. Not sure what to get? The friendly staff at Next Chapter Booksellers are great at making recommendations to find books that fit your taste. Next Chapter Booksellers also hosts many book readings and meet and greets with authors, and they sell a wide variety of puzzles and games too. So stop by the store off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul or place an order online at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 63, Wednesday sunny with a high near 85, and Thursday sunny with a high around 93. Cafe Latte is a hot spot for American eats and house-made desserts in a cafeteria-style setup plus a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte believes ingredients matter, so that's why they never use artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. Dine in at the restaurant off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul or place a takeout order at cafelatte.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we've been just watching Rutherford Falls, Wendy, and their new season, and Dallas, who just did that haul for us for Reservation Dogs, is a big part of that show too.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, and then also Reservation Dogs, I guess, is coming out in August, their second season. So we're just full of a lot of native cool stuff here.
Very cool.
And speaking of native cool stuff, we have Miisko, who's the manager of our store and just all around groovy person. And Miisko, I don't know if you had heard, but Wendy just gave the announcement that we're going to be at the Minnesota State Fair with our store. So that's a game changer.
That's super cool. I'm so excited.
Right on. Hey, you got a couple things, and we appreciate you stopping in here. We know you're a busy young person doing a lot of busy young person stuff, but we really appreciate you stopping in. You have a couple things going on, and next week you have like a powwow going on, and I want you to talk about that and talk about a little etiquette too, because our white allies really like to know what they can and can't do, and even if they can show up to these powwows.
Okay, yeah, so next week at the Minneapolis American Indian Center, it's off of Franklin, we're having Honoring the Language Learners powwow. It's to honor all of the Dakota and Ojibwe language students that our organization has had over the past year, as well as the interns that are in my program that I was helping run, or that I was running for the Dakota and Ojibwe languages. But yeah, so the powwow is next Tuesday, the 28th at 6 p.m. to about 9 p.m. And then we're having a grass dance special, women's fancy shawl special, which is kind of like a dance competition, as well as a youth jingle dress and youth grass dance outfit giveaway. So that's the events that will be happening there, and I'm super excited. And so yeah, everyone's welcome. We would love, to have people there to either spectate or to join in on the honorings, and stuff like that. And a little bit of powwow etiquette would just to be, just be respectful of your space and other people's spaces. Don't go up to people and touch their outfits without asking, or don't take pictures of people without asking. Usually it's okay to take videos while we're dancing and record, because we're sharing our culture. But yeah, that's all I got right now.
No, that's cool. And I know for me, I'm still working on, because I had that bad knee operation years ago, Wendy and Miisko, I'm working on my round dance skills, so That's I've been laughed at by a few young people that I know when I'm trying to do the beat, right, Misko?
Yeah.
But so I'm a person off the street. I come in, just sit down and relax and take it all in. If you want to go out and if you want to go out and dance, there's things called the all.
Yeah, Miska will explain it. So
Yeah,
I've never been I've never been to a powwow before. What can I expect?
Okay, yeah. So usually in the beginning of the powwow, like it says they start at 6, but usually everyone's running on Indian time, so it might start at like 6:15. But once you get there, the first thing in the order of events would be grand entry, and so that's when all of the dancers line up and we get ready to like, bring in the flags and royalty. Maybe. Sorry. And then after that, after grand entry is all done, the MC announces like the dancers, the veterans, and the royalty. And then if you're there, you just listen to the MC because he will explain like what the order of events is or what's gonna happen. They'll be like, "Hey, fancy shell dancers, stand by," meaning like they're gonna be the next in the order of events that's gonna happen. And so, kind of when you're at a powwow, you can just chill. It's a social event, so you socialize with many people. I've met so many great community members and friends at powwows. And then what else?
Well,
Yeah,
one thing I want to mention too, Misko and Wendy, is that we've gone to some powwows, so there's vendors there too, whether it's food with fry bread or great vendors like Native Roots Trading Post.
and another thing too, next week we're also having a feast at 5 p.m. and the event is open to the public, so anyone's welcome to come. I'm not sure where we're having it, but yeah, I'm excited though.
No, that is exciting, and you're a big part of what's going on there. And there's also a big renovation happening at the Indian Center, which was built in 1972, I do believe, and they're putting $30 million into it, and they're going to be closed down for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be super sad. There's so many memories, and like we were going through old like files in the basement, and there's things dated way back to like the 70s and 80s. It's crazy. But it's due for renovation though, not gonna lie. They are gonna save that big art piece that's on the outside and preserve that,
Mhm.
and I think put it in the new center that's being built. But yeah.
Right, and then there's going to be restaurants like right on the street. Charlie's store is going to be street accessible too, and plus all the offices and the people that are working down there, like yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I could see how you have a lot of memories, Misko, and it's, kind of sad that it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be knocked down and then rebuilt, but
Mhm.
it's also very exciting.
I also heard too, Misko, that I think they're keeping the gym, or at least the shell of the gym. That's what I've heard too. So, like, that's the wall you're talking about too that isn't being torn down. So, that'll be interesting too. I'm sure there's going to be a new gym floor and ceiling and all those things. But yeah, right on Franklin Avenue, which we talk a lot about all the time. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Ogama. Go ahead.
Yeah, Misko, I think the first time I met you was in front of the American Indian Center in Minneapolis, and I had showed up to help protect it during the riots that followed the George Floyd's murder. And that was a big part of what we were protecting was that art piece across the front. And we were out there with Rory Wake 'em Up, and we had buckets of water at the ready in case something started burning on the block. Rory for sure was going to basically put his life on the line to save that piece of art. He said it was absolutely priceless. It's, for those of you who don't know, it is a giant, and I mean giant. It covers the entire front of the American Indian Center. It's a wooden art piece that was commissioned by an artist who's no longer living. And this is, I think they're no longer living. Don't quote me. That would be a Roy Wake 'em Up question. But the piece of art is irresistible or irreplaceable, and it is just stunningly beautiful, and it would have been such a problem for all of us if that had gone away. So I'm so glad to hear they're keeping it, and I'm always glad to see Misko too.
Oh, much love, Ogama.
So, Misko, we got a couple minutes left here. Let's just go over real quick your powwow again. And if you're listening to Native Roots Radio, like all of you are right now, you just bring your cell phone, and then just go into TuneIn, and in TuneIn you can listen to the show and powwow at the same time. So we got to just remind people too, you can do two things at once here. So it's exciting, Misko. You're doing great work here, getting ready to go back to school. And we here at Native Roots Radio, I've known you for a while, are so proud of you and all you do for our community. I just want to say a big Pinigigi.
Oh, Pinigigi, thank you, Pilot. But yeah, so again, the details of the event are, it's at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. If you look that up on Google, I'm not sure of the exact address, but it is on Franklin. And then it'll be next Tuesday, June 28th at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the events, we're having multiple events there, and there's a feast at 5 p.m. and it's an open event to the public.
Wow. Hey, thanks for stopping in. I know you got a lot of young stuff to do with your young friends, so it really means a lot to us that you can stop by and spend some time with us. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you very soon.
All right. See you later, Pilot. Thank you.
Oh, that was Misko, Wendy. We just love having her on. She is the real deal when it comes to a young person learning the language, dancing, and all these things that are in a good way.
Yeah, she gets a lot of the young people involved and motivated. She's very enthusiastic about what she does, so it's awesome. Good for her.
Why did you turn your camera off, Wendy?
Oh, well, because I was running out of battery, and I had to move over to get my Oh, wait, here we go.
Yeah. Well,
here we go.
Everyone wants to see you. There you are.
They
cool.
don't really want to see me.
Yeah, they do. Okay. Well, they have to see me, so that's not a good thing here. So, again, Misko, that's great. Great things. And it's funny, Wendy and Ogama, somebody put up on our Facebook, they got to retire so they can go to all these events. And sometimes I feel that way.
It is. Well, there's so much going on, especially in the summer. I'm glad, most of the time at the powwows, people are wearing masks. People are kind of, they're social distancing, trying to be careful and keep each other safe. So that's great. And you could always pick up really good native stuff at powwows too. It's kind of fun.
It is really fun. And what is the thing that you always really need to ask when you're getting jewelry, Wendy?
Where is it? Oh, who is the artist, or what tribe is it from? Yeah.
Because even at these sanctioned powwows, there's sometimes things that may be not native made, and if you're really looking for authentic things, always ask the person that you're buying it from, who made this?
Right.
And can I get a better deal from them no, I'm just kidding. But you gotta know who made the stuff, right? Well, hey, we are gonna take a break here, and we're gonna have our sacred animal section here.
That's right.
And we're gonna talk about our relatives with hooves,
paws.
tails.
We're going to talk about paws today.
Paws.
Our sacred animals with paws.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Misko, and thanks, Nancy. Up next, co-host Wendy with the sacred animal section.
Stay with us.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Course Breaks helps provide free digital textbooks to college students in underserved communities. But how does it work? Course Breaks works with a network of publishers that provide free digital textbooks to students with sponsorships covering the cost. These textbooks have been used in thousands of colleges and universities. And Course Breaks is currently being offered in all tribal colleges and universities and historically Black colleges and universities. To discuss a corporate or private contribution, visit coursebreaks.com.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
It was funny when we were doing this, when Gina was sitting in for Ogama, her dog would start howling in the background.
That's so funny.
Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, co-host here of Native Roots Radio. Couldn't do this without you, Wendy, all these years, 5 years of I started the show when I was a young person.
Yeah,
here.
we were both young.
Yeah. And now we're sunsetting, but hey, you always have a great section when we talk about our sacred animals, which are our relatives. You know, Native Americans think of them as our relatives. So let's take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Ogama. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega, Curtis. Curtis says always thank you. And Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that, and it's fun to do. A friend of mine on Facebook posted an animal shelter that's overflowing with dogs and cats, and she said it was in Bloomington. So I thought it was Bloomington, Minnesota, but when I clicked on it, it was Bloomington, Indiana, which, you know, who cares, right? It's a shelter that's overflowing with dogs and cats, which there are so many throughout the United States. And here's what they said in Bloomington, Indiana. Our kennels are completely full, overflowing actually. We have animals in offices, foster homes, and visitation rooms. We are continuing our flash sale in hopes to be finding and freeing up some more kennel space. So what I want to talk about today is the problems that we're having here in the United States with the overpopulation of dogs and cats. I have I have pictures of the dogs and cats that are at the Bloomington, Indiana shelter. I'm just going to randomly just pop them up and show everybody that there are faces to these animals and that they're all good adoptable pets, and that we need to get them out of the shelter and into a good home. So I just kind of went around and just kind of looked around to find out what else I could find out. Sand Springs, Oklahoma, their animal welfare facility is beyond max capacity. This was posted on Thursday, June 16th, 2022, and it was written by Jordan Tidwell. The Sand Springs Animal Welfare Facility says they have double the amount of animals than they do space. The coordinator worries they will have to start euthanizing if they don't get some of the dogs and cats adopted out. The city says a bond proposal could help get the animals a new shelter. Quote, we're just been really slammed with lots of dogs coming in and not many owners coming to claim their dogs, so we're full. We are doubled up and tripled up, said Tracy Arvinson. She's the animal welfare coordinator. Animal welfare coordinator Tracy says they have 70 cats right now, but can only comfortably fit 45. They have 19 kennels and right now about 30 dogs. She says an upcoming board election could get the animals a new facility with 45 to 50 kennels. This shelter was built in 1993. So at that time, it was just a lot of animal control, bringing them in, keeping them 3 days, then euthanizing them. And we don't do that anymore. So we hold them, she said. Voters, if you're in Oklahoma, voters will decide on 4 propositions totaling more than $15 million in the June 28th election. Proposition 1 is focused on improving road conditions in the city. Proposition 2 is to replace new storm sirens and to build new animal welfare facilities. Proposition 3 focuses on parks and trails throughout the city. And Proposition 4 is to make a priority to enhance beautification around the Sand Spring. So if you know somebody who lives in Oklahoma, you live in Oklahoma, we need you guys to get out there and vote. Proposition 2 to replace the storm sirens and to build new animal welfare facility. So we need to do that. I really wanted to look at more information because I just wanted some statistics. So sometimes having statistics, even though the word is hard to say for me, it's good to know. Stats. So according to the Animal League, more than 70,000 puppies and kittens are born daily in the United States. 70,000 puppies and kittens are born daily in the United States. Because of pet overpopulation, more than 3.7 million animals are being euthanized annually in shelters across the United States. That was from April 29th, 2021. That was the latest data that I could find on that. This was interesting. They said across the country, summer is the peak season when the number of animals coming into shelters grows, while at the same time, pet adoptions temporarily dip. At the peak times, we accept an overwhelming volume that can reach up to 100 dogs and cats in a day. That's from May 15th, 2019. So summer is the time to go out, people, and get your pets at the shelter. You know, I was called my stepdad. He lives in Florida. I called him on Sunday for Father's Day and talked to him for a little while. And he was saying that my stepbrother, who lives in Georgia now, him and his wife are getting a new dog, but they have to wait 8 weeks because they have to wait for the puppies to get to a certain, he couldn't remember what kind of breed it was, but I'm just, I didn't say anything because it's it's Steve, my stepdad, but I feel like calling my stepbrother-in-law, like, are you kidding me? All these animals in the shelter and you're going to get one of these,
bougie dogs.
Bougie dog, probably like a cockapoo or one of those mutt dogs that,
became a designer dog.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, most of the U.S. animal shelter stats for 2022 paint a sad story. There's been a decline in the number of animals entering shelters over the past decade. However, sadly, many pets are still euthanized each year. In any case, the action is needed, and hopefully these facts and stats will encourage you to take it. The top 10 animal shelter stats. There are 3,500 animal shelters in the United States.
Wow.
3,500 shelters in the U.S. Altogether, there are around 14,000 shelters and rescue groups in the United States.
Wow.
No-kill shelters attempt to save 9 out of 10 animals.
Oh, geez.
More than 6 million animals enter animal shelters across the United States every year. That's a lot. 6 million animals enter animal shelters across the U.S. every year.
Wow.
That's crazy. 710,000 strays are returned to their owners each year. So that's good. So the strays that come in are found. Their owners are found. 710,000.
That's good statistics.
Dog adoptions soared to 10 to 13 a day during the COVID-19 pandemic. 625,000 pets were euthanized in 2019. I'm going to repeat that. 625,000 pets were euthanized in 2019. So, you know, I don't know how many. I'm hoping that anytime I talk about this, just like one person won't go to a breeder and they'll go to their shelter, you know, their local shelter, or talk to their, you know, rescue organization. Go on petfinder.com. You could put on, I want a small dog, female,
brown
and you put it in and they go tut, 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 and it tells you where to go to get the dog. So you know,
well, that's what we do here, Wendy. We give information out that you don't normally know, and I think, you know, we were surprised 20 years ago about the plight of shelters and dogs, and we used to drive it was like the underground.
Used to transport the dogs from Indiana up here in Minnesota. Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, thanks again, Peeny Gigi. Thanks to Ogama, Nancy Beaulieu, Miisko. It's been a great show. You're listening to Native Roots Radio, or you have been listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
I'm Candy Brothel, publisher of the Twin Cities edition of Natural Awakenings magazine and host of Green Tea Conversation.